Welcome to Off the Court. I'm super excited to introduce our first guest. She's a 2-year starter and a rising senior, averaging 30 minutes a game, and one of my closest friends. I'm so excited to introduce Kai Crutchfield.
Hey Ace, what's up? How's it going?
Hey, how are you?
I'm pretty good, trying to schedule everything with this internship, getting everything situated, living the quarantine life.
I know it's crazy, like trying to figure out how life is supposed to continue while we're still stuck in our homes is very difficult right now.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge because I'm a people person. I love to give out hugs and everything, so
Oh, I
it's
know.
definitely a challenge. Definitely a challenge.
My favorite part of our relationship is that you and I, whenever we're having a bad day, we'll just go up and hug each other. We don't ask any questions, and you
Without
honestly give the
question.
best hugs ever.
Well, I
Um,
appreciate that.
so yeah, well, we're gonna jump in with like all the way back in high school, um, to your state championship buzzer beater,
Uh,
because you don't talk about yourself a whole lot and you don't like to brag, so I had to learn this off of the internet, which I'm kind of offended about, but it's okay. And I just want to know a little bit about the experience and um just the feeling of winning state and being able to be that pivotal moment of it all.
So yeah, it was definitely something that changed my perspective on everything. Because I mean, the situation that we were in, it might have been I think it was 3.2 seconds left on the clock. Somebody was at the free throw line, and we were down by one. So she would have made it. Of course, it would have tied the game, and everything just went in slow motion. There was a girl that was in front of me, so it's our team, their team, our team. There's a girl that was beside me. She was probably about 6'3", 6'4", and the ball just fell in my hands, and I was like, oh my gosh. I reached out, I did an Odell Beckham rebound, and then I put it back up, and it was just it was surreal. I don't know. To this day, I say that everything was in slow motion, but when I replayed in my head, it's next thing you know, I shot it. Everybody started screaming, and then I'm at the bottom of a dog pile with all my teammates and coaches. So it was great.
Was it one of those moments where you felt the anxiety, or did you not even have a chance to feel that? Was it just, I have to put this in?
It was, so that was one of the shots that I did in practice all the time. So it was almost like a muscle memory shot. And I wouldn't say I had a little bit of anxiety, but then again, I trusted my teammate in making the free throw, but everything just felt how it was supposed to be. And yeah, at the end of the game, of course, it's a big game. So just the anxiety throughout the game the whole time. I mean, there's a point where you feel comfortable in knowing that, yeah, I've gotten a whole bunch of shots up and I've been playing this game all my life. But then again, it's still a huge game. So I was a little bit anxious too.
Yeah, I was reading that and I got a little bit anxious for you, just reading it, my heart was beating. You even talking about it, being an athlete, kind of understanding that moment, my heart is pounding a little bit. So we have a question from Instagram from Devin Washington, and he wants to know why you committed so early. I mean, you committed before I was even recruited by NC State. So he wants to know why you committed at sophomore, how that worked out, and what your decision process was.
So me and my family, we just finished a AAU tournament. I think it was in Georgia. And we were sitting in Denny's, and my parents asked me, hey, so if you had to make a decision right now, who would it be? And it was as soon as they even started the question, I already knew what the answer was. And it was NC State. And they were like, oh, wow, really? And I was like, yeah. And they went on and said, okay, why? So I answered, one, because there's a difference between somebody being interested and being invested. And I just felt especially when being in the backyard of NC State, there was a coach at every single one of my games, whether it was high school or if it was AAU. So that was definitely a deal breaker for me. And it just felt like home. A lot of people know that a lot of people on the team are a part of AAU team together, or we played on the same organization at one point. So just having a chemistry or relationship with some of the girls that were already there, it was a great feeling. And I had been around NC State from basketball camps. I grew up going to NC State women's basketball camp, so it just felt like home.
Yeah, somebody said that your family was like UNC fans before. Is that true?
No, it's not true. My mom actually went to NC State, so you know
Okay.
how that relationship UNC State goes. So, and she did not have any influence on me going to NC State. It was always my parents were in my corner, and wherever I went, they would definitely support it.
Yeah, that's like I heard that and I was like, I don't think that's true. But especially with your dad was ECU, everything like it's not like
Yeah.
likely, but I wanted to make sure. And then you talked about like having your family close and them having such a close relationship with you. How does that affect how you play? Like I know they come to every game, like they're like the team family. They come to on travel trips, everything, like always so excited. And grandparents even are there. Like how does that affect your game and kind of like the confidence you have on the floor?
So I would say after the game, I always know somebody's going to be there for me, whether it's a we lose or we win, or I just had my assist completely to you. And it's just like, wherever the circumstance, I am able to go back. And at the end of the game, when I walk upstairs from the locker room, I'm able to give somebody a hug, whether it's my dad, my brother, mom, grandparents. When we went to Hawaii this past year, I had 10 of my family members go with me. And that was just a loving experience just because they were able to watch me play basketball. And on top of that, we were all able to enjoy the beautiful weather in the beautiful waters of Hawaii. So, yeah.
I know they're like family to everyone because they're always around. And then let's talk a little bit about you becoming a starter. I know it was like some crazy circumstances and you were thrown into it, but you definitely didn't falter and rose to the occasion right away, and you've been a starter ever since. So I would love to know, like, and I'm sure our viewers would love to know, what was the thought process that kind of was happening when you were being moved in that position, and what goals did you have and what fears? I mean, everybody gets a little bit of anxiety when they're pushed in that position. So like, what was really your thought process through that whole experience?
So the circumstances and the reasons why I got pushed into the starting five are very unfortunate, and I will always say that. But my whole thing with going into the starting lineup was I just want to fit in where I need to. I wasn't necessarily saying, oh yeah, this is my time to shine. This is my time to, score a whole bunch of points or anything like that. I just wanted to be in a position where wherever the team needed me to be is where I was. And it was definitely an eye opener. It was definitely a blessing at the same time. And I wouldn't necessarily say I had fears. I would say I knew that there were going to be situations and times where I was going to do something wrong. And with me doing that wrong thing, you were there to encourage me or lift me up and everything. So it worked out well. And I'm happy I was able to be in that situation, and I was ready to be in that situation as well.
I mean, I'd say it worked out awesome considering like this last season, you were one of our leading scorers for at least half the season. I mean, I would say that you moving into that position, it definitely was, in crappy circumstances, but overall, like you like help the team so much and everything, whether it's on defense and rebounding, and that I don't think anybody can argue that you definitely have earned that spot since that moment.
Thank you.
Now you're heading into your senior year. I know it's crazy. I
It's
mean,
very
I've known
easy.
you since I was a freshman, and it's like nuts that we're all grown up now. But kind of like the same question, like, what are you looking forward to? What type of goals do you have for this season? We're coming off a big one, so I know that the goals must be high. And just like, what are you looking forward to with all of this new things happening this coming year?
So, like you said, it's a big year. Time flies like crazy. I'm just wanting to be a leader to the freshmen, kind of just giving them my knowledge and my experience and try to pass it on to them, because it's not just, us. You've passed on knowledge to me, so now it's my job to pass it on to the people that came after me. And I think with that being said, it's like I want to lead by example and not necessarily lead by voice. A lot of people can, it's talk to talk, but they don't walk the walk. So I don't want to be somebody that just talks to talk. I want them to see exactly what it's like to work hard and also to succeed, and then to learn from my mistakes.
Yeah, and then your other senior counterpart is Kayla Jones, and you guys have known each other a long time. I think we have like a picture from back when you were a junior, I was a senior, and we were like going to our senior and AU, and we look so bad. Like I'm not gonna share that with everybody because it's super embarrassing.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you were gonna share that picture, but so I could prepare myself.
Oh my God, all of our eyebrows are awful. Like it looks like we have no idea what we're doing.
That was like the stage where I didn't know that there was such thing as threading. So
my eyebrows were like half this size and like super skinny, but like oh God, it just like hurts my heart to like think about it. But like what does it mean like being able to come into your senior with somebody you've played AAU with, that you've known for such a long time, who has really kind of been with you through the whole thing? Like how does that feel? Because I didn't know any of my seniors coming in. I met Erica through Twitter, met Lucky on campus. So like how does that, is that super exciting for you? Like what is that feeling?
It's definitely exciting. So fun fact, me and KJ were roommates for the North Carolina-South Carolina All-Star game in high school for our senior year. So along with us already meeting each other through AAU, KJ is just like a warm heart, a soft heart. She has a lot of faith, and just knowing that whenever I'm down, knowing that I can talk to her or communicate with her what I'm going through, and she'd be able to, spit back out some knowledge back at me. And on the court, it's like we're able to communicate in a way where it's not going to hurt each other's feelings. It's just like, if that's what you see, if that's what you think that the other person needs to do, then it's just like, okay, get it done, because we both have a common goal, and that's to win. So KJ is definitely, I'm glad I have her in my, not just in my class, but, in my corner as well. And yeah, she definitely has a warm heart, and I appreciate all the things that she's, said to me, whether it's like, dang, KJ, all right, I got you, or if it's just like, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be an incredible chemistry on the floor. That's going to be a real important guiding force for the team this upcoming season. And I'm super excited to see where you guys go. And then, like, I guess, what for your senior, what are you graduating with? Everybody, wants to know school part. So what is your degree, and what were you hoping to do with it afterwards?
So I am a business administration major with a concentration. I've changed it now. I'm not now a marketing concentration.
You changed it again?
Yeah. So I was supply chain, but now I'm marketing, and I'm sticking with marketing. Yeah, and afterwards I kind of done internships and stuff with marketing and advertisement, and it just is natural to me. So I thought that was the best way to go for me, and also to be able to, execute some of the entrepreneurial ideas that I have in mind.
Hey, that's the same degree I got. So, you know what? It's a good place to start. You said you're working in an internship. Like, what are your responsibilities right now? What company are you working with? Like, how are you applying what you've learned at NC State kind of in those situations?
So last year I worked for Pro 35 Sports Academy. The Doyles, they're like a second family to me. I definitely learned how to, manage time, whether it's, advertising. I learned a lot of stuff, like what time you're supposed to post stuff on Facebook and on Instagram, which is kind of weird, because then when you think about it, it's like, yeah, I do go on Instagram during these hours. So that was cool. And then now I'm working with Northwestern Mutual as a financial representative intern. So It's kind of, I get to learn more about the financial industry, and I'm able to incorporate what I've learned now into the future. And, I'm a very helping person. So I'm willing to help people in any way possible and try to make a good impact on people. So just to help them in the future and just to steer them in the right direction.
I love it. We have another question from Mary Rawls. She wants to know what your go-to workout is. So I'm guessing that means like in quarantine, like what are you doing to stay in shape? Because I know we're all struggling with that right now.
Okay, so I've kind of jumped around a little bit. The first wave was me, my dad, and my brother went through a deck of cards. And when I tell you the first time we did that, we were like, oh yeah, that's cool, that's chill. And then when we woke up the next morning, I looked at my dad and we kind of like read each other's mind. I was like, yo, I'm sore. He's like, me too. And I'm like, okay, I'm glad we're on the same page there. But now I'll wake up and in between like meetings, I'll go for like a 2-3 mile run. And yeah, and then of course I do Coach Nate stuff. Nate, I can't forget about you. You have a warm place in my heart.
I know it's kind of crazy with quarantine. Like you guys would already be kind of heading into workouts. So what is the team doing right now kind of to keep the athletes engaged in sports?
So we are, Coach Nate sends out a workout. We recently sent out kind of like a 3-week type thing. It's, aerobic. You do like your sprints, whether it's hills, 30-minute like biking, all that. And you love the RDLs and and the side lunges and everything. So yeah, Coach Nate sent out a whole bunch of stuff for us to do. So that's kept us occupied these past 3 weeks. This is going on into the 3rd week. So I'm sure he has something else coming up for us. And I'm not sure what the regulations are with everyone reporting back to school, but I'm sure we can, or the training staff and the strength and conditioning staff has figured something out so that we can get back in and at kind of like a minimum level, just a few of us at a time trying to get back in on weights. He also said that we're going to be, outside on the track.
Oh God. I'm not going to miss that at all.
But yeah, I mean, Coach Nate, he knows what he's doing. So I'm sure whatever he has planned is something that's definitely going to get us in shape. But at the same time, it's going to be safe for all of us.
Yeah, I mean, he's always done such a wonderful job, like preparing us, and hate him and love him at the same time. I don't think
it's definitely a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, you can't when he's forcing you to push yourself to the limit, but at the same time it's just like one of the best human beings. Like,
oh yeah,
it's a real funny like interaction with him because you hate him in the moment, but like would love him every other time.
Yeah, especially when he calls you out. That's when you're like, come on, dude.
Like, he's like, really? Is that really what you're doing? And you're like, oh. He like turns his dad voice on and then like instantly like you're instantly filled with regret. You're like, oh my gosh. Okay, so outside of working out, what are your hobbies that you're doing to keep busy? I know you're spending a lot of time with your family, but like what is it that is keeping you sane right now?
So me and my mom, we do puzzles. We've done like this space puzzle, this geometric shape puzzle. That was the hardest puzzle of my life. I cannot lie. And then just watching movies. My brother has me playing the video game now. So yeah.
What video game are you playing?
I want you to take a guess. Just guess. You know me as a person. I want you to guess.
Fortnite?
Yes. I love you.
That seems like something you would do.
Yeah. I think that's definitely Fortnite has okay, I'm gonna say this, but don't laugh at me. When I first started playing, I started dreaming about Fortnite, and it was I don't know, it's just something about it. And a lot of people say that they like Call of Duty better, but I'm kind of like a child and I like the animated, theme around it. Call of Duty's too realistic for me, so I'm gonna stick to Fortnite. But yeah. So, and then my family, we also have been gardening a lot. My parents have gone to Home Depot, I say in 1 week. At one point in 1 week, they went 10 times. And I'm like, yo, are we really going again? But it's definitely fun, family bonding and everything. Now my mom's trying to start a garden. We're doing this project where we're having lift garden beds. And my dad does like these projects, where he paints. I help him paint the office or wherever it is. I don't know. And then I also draw a lot. I'm not sure if everybody has seen the video of me like drawing graffiti and everything with everybody's name on it, but drawing is something that I do kind of as a woosah when, you need your me time. So.
Wow, that's, I'm not going to recognize your house if I ever get back there. Like, it sounds like this whole quarantine, you guys are just changing everything up.
Honestly.
So we have another question from Maria Santor off of Twitter, and she has two of them actually, and she wants to know whether or not you like M&Ms or Reese's better.
It depends. Okay, so I'm gonna put this out there. I'm more of like a Snickers type person. But if I had to choose between M&Ms and Reese's, okay, so I'm greedy. Reese's only gives you two, but like you can kind of ration out the M&Ms. So I might say M&Ms, but I don't know. That's kind of hard. It depends on how I'm feeling. If I'm looking for peanut butter, then of course I go Reese's. But I don't know.
You could always do like the peanut M&Ms if you wanted the peanut flavor.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. If I do M&Ms, it's probably going to be the original, just chocolate M&Ms.
Okay, cool. And then she also wants to know what coach is the best dancer.
Okay. I feel like all the coaches have different dancing styles. So it's hard to put that into perspective. But then again, I don't feel like all the coaches have given us their full dancing potential. So with that being said, I challenge you to have the coaches do a dance-off. How about that?
That sounds like an awesome idea. I think everybody wants to see that. Honestly, the only person I think I've actually seen like try and go all out is Coach Moore, and we're just going to leave it at that.
Yeah. For sure. That is definitely that, yeah.
So we're going to have to get them on and like do a dance-off and just like so we can settle this once and for all.
Oh, yeah.
But, other than that, like what are your plans? Like assuming that school opens up, like are you planning on getting involved in anything? I know that you're involved with SAC. Like what are you trying to make an impact on campus with this next year?
Honestly, that's a good question. With me being in SAC, I think that's definitely a good starting point. I'd have to look into other stuff that I want to get into and like impact wise. Yeah, that's a good question. That's definitely a good question for sure. I have kind of had this like thing where I wanted to join the Spanish club because I love Spanish. So that's something I definitely have looked into, but I never really went through with it. But yeah.
I think that would be awesome because like we're on the court and I'll like start speaking French and you'll start speaking Spanish and we'll have like conversations in completely different languages and like nobody understands what we're saying. And I don't speak Spanish, but I can kind of understand what you're saying and vice versa. And I think that'd be really awesome. Just so that you like, when you get angry, like you can just switch to Spanish on the court.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but other than that, is there anything you want to share about what's going on right now?
I would say that I think everyone should keep a warm heart. But then again, you can't change someone's heart. And there are some things that can be done different, and there's some things that there's always something that could be better. And I believe that things going into the right direction will definitely, I guess you say heal the world, if you want to say it that way. But I don't know, there's just some things that you have to continue to fight for. And with that being said, you fighting for it is definitely you speaking up. And when you speak up, that shows strength and it shows courage. So.
Yeah. And, thank you so much for coming on. Before we sign off, I would like to make a statement. I want to use this platform and opportunity to address some of the things that are happening across the nation right now. During my lifetime, I've been blessed to be surrounded by kind and talented members of the Black community. My time at NC State has definitely been the most impactful, as I was able to meet, love, and respect countless Black athletes and people of color. The oppression and hate that has been quite literally choking the life out of the Black community is heartbreaking and unacceptable. I'm no longer an active member of the women's basketball team at NC State, but I know that I speak for all of us when I say that we see you, we love you, and we will stand for you. This is a difficult conversation that needs to be had, and I have no doubt Wolfpack Nation will rise to the occasion. With that, I would like to urge everyone watching to use their voice and their privilege to learn, to speak up, and obviously to vote, so we can create a future that is safe for everyone. Thank you guys for watching Off the Court, and hopefully I see you next week.
Thank you, Ace. I appreciate your time, and you know I love you forever. You're a sister to me, and wherever you move that is overseas, I will be visiting. So go ahead and get an extra bedroom for me. Just know that.
No, you could just stay in my room. I don't even care.
Oh yeah, of course.